Welcome to Syndicate Diaries, where every cast tells a story, every ripple marks a new adventure, and in this captivating series, I invite you to join me on an exhilarating journey into the heart of carp fishing. Now, before we carry on, voiceovers are a little new to me, so I've asked ChatGPT to write this intro for me, in case you can't tell already. I'm not convinced by it, but let's give it a chance, shall we? 'Cause it's probably going to be better than whatever I can say. Prepare to embark on a voyage of discovery as we explore a new challenge, a new place to learn, and a new opportunity to immerse ourselves in the beauty of nature. To be fair, that's pretty bang on. I agree with that. It's just a bit airy-fairy, ain't it? Anyway, I said I'd give this a chance. In the Syndicate Diaries, we become more attentive to our surroundings, watching the weather with keen eyes and learning to interpret the subtle signs nature provides. Again, that ain't far off. With each step, we uncover hidden secrets and witness breathtaking moments, seeing new things that inspire us and ignite our passion for the sport. And also, before we carry on, the reason I'm doing a voiceover instead of on the bank is because I decided to do my first session in about 50-60 mile an hour winds. And this would have been the audio you'd have had to listen to. So I think you'll agree this is marginally better than me talking on the bank. Anyway, there's a few more lines to finish. Join me as I walk around the lake, getting to know its every contour and character, forging a bond that transcends the mere act of fishing. The Syndicate Diaries isn't just about catching fish, it's about the journey, the thrill of the chase, the serenity of the surroundings, and the joy of sharing unforgettable moments with friends. To be fair, first use of ChatGPT, I don't think that's too bad. ChatGPT, whatever it is. I don't think that was too bad. Oh yeah, I also then struggled to set the bivvy up, so enjoy this. It was very windy, as I said. But a massive thank you to Steve and Terry, the two bailiffs that were there at the time, who came to my rescue and helped me actually secure this down eventually. I did genuinely nearly lose it, but then bivvy was up. I could actually settle down, start watching the water, prepare some things, and I did have a bit of a net of, as you'll see in a second. So, first session down, it was merely to get to grips with the place, find out a bit about it. I hope you've enjoyed this little intro sequence. I think I filmed probably over 100 different clips before I even got the rods out, so hope you appreciate this. Anyway, here I am, finally sat down talking on the bank when the wind's pretty much just about finished for the day. Well, this is one of the first times I've actually ventured out of the bivvy today because it's been absolutely brutal when it comes to the wind. The back of that bivvy has been bending in, bowing, the whole thing's been shaking, but it stood firm. And so far, the wind hasn't gone yet. It's going to die off by about midnight, but the sun is just starting to set behind us. It's a gorgeous sunset, and it's just barely clouds in the sky. So it's been, other than the wind, it's been a beautiful day, but that wind has knocked the temperature right back. I think it's scraping double figures today if it wasn't windy, but with the wind, it's been freezing. Tonight, I think it's down to about 5-6 degrees, so it's going to be a cold one. Considering this is early April, you'd expect it to be a bit warmer than that today, but I've done what I needed to on this trip so far, and that's to get the grips of the place, have a little look around, see what the lake's all about, the size of it, how it's made up. I would have liked to have taken the drone up today just to have a top-down view of the whole lake, but of course, the wind being like it was, if I took the drone up, that would have disappeared within seconds, so that just wasn't an option. So hopefully next time I'm down here, I will be able to do that. But having had a little lap of the lake and talking to the bailiffs and one other angler that's on here, I've got a bit more of an idea of what's going on with this place. It's about 5-6 foot deep, potentially 7 foot deep in places, pretty much the whole way round. And it's about 8 to 10 acres is what the guesstimate is. So although where I am looks like quite a small little corner, a lot of the swims look like you haven't got loads of expansive water in front of you because of all the rushes and reeds that you've got around the place. The actual length of the lake is pretty much the whole length of the complex. So this is a complex I've fished before. You've probably seen previous videos of me fishing on the Heath Lake, which is the day ticket water, which is an underarm flick there. I can see it right now. There's a few anglers on there today. I've already had a few. And then there's a match lake as well. But this is the Syndicate one, which I've had my eye on for a few years. I'm now finally on it, of course. So today has been quite nice just to be able to sit in the bivvy, this being my view, whilst being able to get work done. I've been blitzing away at it, and I finally hit export just before the sunset. So I get to see the sunset, have some food, and then stick on the Champions League for this evening. So I'm looking forward to a nice chill evening on the bank. I have just had a couple of phone calls from my wife with a screaming child in the background, so I do feel bad about that. I promise. But it would be nice to get a good bit of kip tonight and hopefully welcome with a lovely fish. Now, talking of lovely fish, I've also tried to learn a bit more about the stock on here. So I've talked to a few people. I posted on Instagram that I was at my new syndicate, and a few of you recognised the place, and people that fished it before. I started talking to several different people how they've done, and it seems like there's quite a good stock of some slightly smaller fish. It's doubles, quite a good head of 20s, quite a few 30s, but there's never done a 40 until about 2 hours ago. Unbelievably, my first session down here, not me, otherwise I would have held that up. The one other angler that's on here has given me permission to input the images and footage right now. Jason, at the very top end, just had this lake's first ever 40. So at £42, the lake owner was here, a couple other members, and I did the photo of that. Absolutely beautiful fish. So that gives you an idea of the stamp of fish I'm after. I now know there's a tangible target of another 40 in this lake, and lots more fish below that as backup. So it's really whetted the appetite to see that fish in the flesh on my first session, so I know what I'm targeting. But of course, for now, the time being, I would just take anything that, well, maybe not bream. I don't know if there's bream in here. I know there's roach. I've seen some of them jumping around, and probably perch. But I would just like a bite to start my session off. Well, start my campaign on here in a good way. Now, I've seen a couple of fish show today. About 2-3 rod lengths out, slap bang in the middle of this swim, where I've got none of my rods, but I've been working, not really been paying too much attention about moving the rods around. They've just been out hoping for a bonus fish. But I've gotten to grips with the place a little bit more. Each trip is going to be a bit more knowledge. And I've just started basically with tactics that I've used in all other venues that I've ever gone to, really. It's a fairly clean bottom from what I felt around from Lending Around. So I've got simple hair rigs or wafter type setups, little 3-bait stringers, and then ship them out with a baiting spoon. And that is pretty much it. I'm probably going to leave them until the morning. They went out absolutely fine. Nothing's happened other than loads of line bites from the wind. So I know they're presented. I know they're fishing. I might as well just leave them until they go. That sun is just about to dip behind the horizon, so I'm going to spin the camera around and show you that, get some food on, and settle in for the night. I think you'll agree, it's been an absolutely stunning morning, sunrise-wise. Tried getting a bit more sleep because at 4:30 in the morning, I was able to get that net wet. And having gone from probably one of the biggest fish in the lake, photographing yesterday, I think I then ended up catching the smallest. So unhooked in the net and slipped back. But the main thing to take from that is that the rig presented well, bait worked, I guess, and so you've got to take positives from these things. So it may have been one of the smallest fish I've had for the year, but it is not a blank on my first session down it, which is always nice. And I've probably got a few hours left now until I've got to pack up and head on home. The rain's going to move in later this morning, and that means I'll have been away from home for 24 hours and leaving my wife at home with our 14-week-old, 15 weeks on Friday, I think it is. She's done an amazing job. She's a brilliant mum, but it's only so long you can last with a child of that age on your own. So I'm not going to be selfish and eager out today. I've got to get back, start doing some dad duties as well, which of course I absolutely love doing as well. It's not all about fishing, but it is nice to have this as your wake-up call and not a grizzly little girl that needs her nappy changing and some food. Morning ducks. Oh, I've missed doing night fishing. These morning wake-ups are the best. Morning coffee knocked back. I packed away everything that I didn't need for the morning so I could travel nice and light round to the far corner. I had seen several fish roll that morning, pretty much right where these bubbles are, so I hoped that by dropping the rigs with the bait and spoon, a little bit of bait and trusty rigs, I could possibly snaffle one right at the... Snaffle? I never used the word snaffle. I could possibly nab one in the dying moments of the session. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, and I drove away with that one small fish under my belt. But what it did mean is that the excitement was there for my next trip back. Hopefully see you in the next one. Oh, if anyone's looking for a voiceover actor, hit me up. I'm basically a pro now.